I'm Andrew Sherman. I'm a Texas transplant who has always been in pursuit of art as a career. I've played in bands, pursued an acting career in Hollywood, but I found it behind the lens of a camera here in Dallas, Texas. I was born in New York, I've lived in Chicago, Los Angeles, Austin, but I love Dallas. There's a magical artistic scene in Dallas that mostly goes unnoticed to the outside world. This podcast is focused on what makes it so special and the people who make it thrive artistically. If you don't live here, and even if you do, you might not have heard of them. This is the Dallas Famous Podcast. So who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're all grown up? This week on the Dallas Famous Podcast, we're joined by Jeff Ryan, an accomplished drummer, producer, and creative force behind Dallas's music scene. From touring the world with Pleasant Grove, Sarah Jaffe, St. Vincent, and more, Jeff has experienced the global stage and returned to nurture Dallas's vibrant community. He's also a key figure in event production for the State Fair of Texas and a dedicated advocate for the local talent. Join us as we explore Jeff's journey through music, touring, and supporting Dallas artists and events. This is a conversation you don't want to miss. Here it is. The Dallas Famous Podcast is supported by the Mullen & Mullen Music Project. The Music Project was created by Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm to champion the independent music scene in North Texas. Hello and welcome back to the Dallas Famous Podcast. I'm sitting here at the Deep Ellum Community Center with Jeff Ryan. Jeff is... Most I know he's a drummer, but you are a producer?
Creative director,
right.
Event management stuff.
Okay.
I book a lot of shows.
And you do stuff, and you do stuff for State Fair still?
Yeah.
Okay.
I sure do. Distribution, help with distribution of records and our European connections and stuff.
So, okay. I mean, is that like your main gig?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is. It is.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's like great that there's a company that can support people like outside but inside the music industry, as it were.
Yeah, I worked for them for 3 years from 2020 to 2023 and then did something else for a couple of years and now I'm back.
Oh, cool.
And I love it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had them on and I've been to so many State Fair shows.
Man,
and
they're great people.
It's cool, yeah.
They are awesome.
I haven't spent as much time at the fair, really.
It's a blast. I mean, it's, running 3 stages and, Courtney does all the logistics. She does all that. I'm just helping him, but she's in charge. It's great. It's fun. It's never a dull moment when you're working those things.
Yeah.
And then obviously I got to play too.
Oh, with who?
So the Texas All-Star Band is we're like a honky tonk band. Like it's Pedigo and Nathan, Tim from 40 Acre. And we played a couple years in a row. We play like every Monday, which is also fun.
Yeah. I was just talking to Jim Suhler, who probably was on by the time this comes on. And I didn't get to the point where I was like, yeah, I'll go to the fair if I get parking. Like I just cannot.
Oh, I know. It's the best part about it is when you get the pass and you're like, great, I can just go.
Yeah.
I can just park at my spot.
I had spoiled because I used to shoot events at the fair, and I would just slip in, slip out. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. But parking is, it's a nightmare if you got to do it.
Yeah. And I didn't grow up here. So the fair was a cool novelty at first. And now it's like, I'll go. I don't hate it, but it's not like, I'm not drawn. Like I think people that grew up every year of their life, they went.
Oh man, there's so many friends of mine that the first day of the fair, they're there.
Yeah.
Like they take off work. It's like a whole day. Hey, I'm going to the fair.
Right. I was actually in the opening day parade one year.
Oh, really?
I was doing some event. Yeah, I wasn't because it was me. I was just, they're like, okay, put on some beads and jump in. And I was like, okay, I don't got to do actual work. That sounds good.
Right.
Random.
That sounds fun.
But, so let's take it to the beginning. Mm-hmm. Are you from Dallas?
Kind of. Okay. I grew up near McKinney.
Okay. Yeah.
So in between McKinney and Salina, out in the country.
Is Anna there. Over there too?
Anna, Prosper,
okay.
Melissa. So I grew up in a really small town in the 80s, and it was very remote, rural. So I had no access to any of this except via, not even the radio until 1988, 89 when The Edge came on the radio and George Gamark came on. And that introduced me to all the music.
You're saying before that there wasn't a show that spoke to you?
No, I was a little young for Kazoo, and none of that, it kind of just bypassed me. Luckily I had an older brother who was my massive influence, and he's the one who would introduce me to The Cure and Depeche Mode and New Order and Echo and the Bunnymen and all the bands that that I still listen to.
We're obviously the same age because that's exactly what I was
right
into myself. I mean, REM was a big one for me too.
Yeah, for sure.
God,
I
wish they would come back and play live.
I know the tribute band is interesting, but I kind of am like.
No, I want to see like the real thing.
Yeah, I want to see the real thing.
Yeah.
That's great. They're doing that because pay homage to the greatness of REM, but I kind of want to see REM.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those other bands are still playing, so I've gotten to see them shoot them.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I grew up out there in the woods.
Okay, and so like, were you like missing music, or just suddenly it was there?
No, I've always been into music.
Okay, so even before you had that station, your brother.
Oh yeah, I had got drums when I was 6 years old.
Okay, so you're already playing.
I was already playing. I just didn't know
what were you playing, like just school stuff, or?
Beatles stuff.
Yeah.
I'm self-taught, so I didn't have any instruction.
Are you like ADD or? A lot of drummers I know are. You seem a lot more mellow than that. So
I haven't been told. I have been told I am by friends and family members, but I've never been diagnosed as that.
I would not say you are giving those vibes either.
Right. Yeah. No, I know, and I probably am because my mind works like a million times a minute. But no, I just grew up loving the drums.
Yeah.
Like people that, I'm very good friends with, like, John Dufalo and all these people, in town who do everything. Mm-hmm. They play guitar, they play keyboards, they sing, they write, they play drums. I'm like, I just play drums. Like that's all I got, But I fell in love with the instrument so hard that's all I want to do. You know, and that's all.
I mean, it's not all you got, it's all you got.
You're right. But it's all I can really do musically. I mean, I have another project that I work on the side sometimes called Myopic, which is like a little ambient keyboard stuff that's really interesting. But for the most part, so drums was it from 6 until now.
Okay, so you're self-taught. Does your brother play? Were you jamming with him? So just you, like, with headphones, banging away at songs you like?
Yeah, to like, Sunday Bloody Sunday 40 times in a row, or then I got into New Order. I'm thinking, why does their drums sound so amazing and I sound terrible?
Did you not know they were electronic?
Right. That's funny. I was like 13 going, why is Shell Shock sounding
right?
My little Pearl kid is terrible.
It's funny. I saw Depeche Mode with my heavy metal buddy, and I had free tickets, so he just like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And like halfway through the first, he's like, where's the guitar player?
Actually.
Yeah. I mean, eventually he picked up a guitar years later, but
but yeah, I was just playing along to records. Until I went to college.
So you weren't in any bands in high school?
I was in a band in high school, and I'm proud of this.
You don't say.
I was in a heavy metal band in high school.
Yeah.
And it was called Razor's Edge.
Okay.
But the cool thing about it is that the lead guitar player's name was John Razor with an S.
Oh.
So that
was his real name.
It was really cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we played like Metallica and Guns N' Roses and all the things. I just wanted to play.
Yeah. It's funny because when I was like in middle school, like into high school, it seemed like all the drummers, like, if you didn't play Neil Peart, you didn't play drums. That was like the thing.
Yeah, well, I wasn't. That was not my bag.
That was not your bag.
That was not my bag.
Well, I was always there, and I'm like, I mean, I learned about heavy metal through other people, and I was like, why?
Why? Yeah, I never got it really. I mean, I listened to, I respect it, and I would play the Metallica songs that I could play. Whatever.
I want to just back up. Neil Peart wasn't metal per se, but
but
it was all harder than what I was into.
Yeah, and it was all just his playing was phenomenal, but I just wasn't into it.
Yeah,
I'd rather play, 6 Different Ways by The Cure, 20 times in a row. That was what I was into.
It's funny because I had that same experience with the electric drums where I was like, what is different? It took me a minute. And then I had a Dr. Rhythm drum machine.
Yeah.
Because I play guitar and, at the time, keyboard. So I was like, I need a percussionist. But so you were in the metal band because that's what everyone else was doing? Basically.
Well, yeah, the high school was so small. That was only what the 4 of the guys who played instruments were doing. There was that guy and John. I was like, okay, well, let's play.
Right.
It was super fun. That was, it was just my first introduction to playing music. And and I just played in college bands. And,
Was that your escape? Is going to college?
Yeah, I went to North Texas.
Okay.
And I was just overexposed, really, to like so many amazing drummers. And I'll never forget this guy, this jazz student, came up to me and he's like, "You've got something, but I want to help you." And that's when I got instruction. And I barely remembered, like, I don't even know if I remember his whole name. And I would go to his practice room across the dorm, and he would show me, like, hey, man, relax this and do this. And it really, like, guided me the right way.
Right.
And then I got serious about studying drums.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you're at school. Are you also doing bands there?
I was doing bands here and there.
But you're more focused on just the craft of it.
Yeah. I just wanted to get good. I wanted to get like to where I could play. I was in a band for a very brief time called, I'm just going to say it. And it's funny because the friends of mine will watch this and be like, oh, yeah, you better talk about that band. And I was in Denton when there was so many incredible bands. I mean, it was Baboon and Dusu and the Fraternity of Noise and all these, Caulk and all these incredible bands, The Argo was happening. It was just incredible. I was in a band called Oatmeal, which was like a rap rock band for a very brief time. We actually opened for 311 at Trees.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like our last gig. We just played a few times, I think at the Argo, and then a couple maybe Delta Lodge things. And then we got to play with 311. But we weren't of age. And then we all had the X's on our hands. We were so excited. We all were drinking on stage. And people that I know now that I'm friends with kicked us out.
Oh, wow.
We got done playing. But it was fun.
So you didn't even see 311?
I did. We came back in. I was able to kind of,
finagle.
black my way back in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's funny. Okay, so then now so you graduate UNT and you moved down here? Or?
Yeah, I moved here in 95 off Lower Greenville, and then I played with, right off the bat, a band called Fury 3, which unfortunately Steve Nutt, the leader of that band, actually passed away last year, actually a year and a half ago now. And that's been kind of rampant, as we all know, in Dallas,
as you get older,
our
too.
scene, which has not been good. But so I was in Fury 3 for a while and did a bunch of shows with him, and it was he was a fantastic guy to play with. He was incredible guitarist, looked just like Paul Weller, and actually played a lot like Paul Weller.
Wow.
And from there on, I got invited to play with Pleasant Grove, and that's when I'm still in the band, Pleasant Grove, and we. Were signed. I think they had a single with Last Beat Records, which Tammy Thompson ran. And then by the time I joined, we were signed to the German label I was talking about, the Glitter House Records in Germany. And we had went there a couple times and toured Germany and Austria and Switzerland. And
wild.
Yeah, it was fun.
It sounds like fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was like my first real band. And I mean, it wasn't glamorous by any means. I mean, sometimes we were playing to, 20 people, and then we played this festival in Germany. We were playing to like 3,000 people.
Right.
It was amazing.
Yeah, but either way, you're having great beer.
Oh my gosh,
and food.
That was something that we never had a shortage of.
Right.
It was great beer and incredible sausage. Yeah.
I might be drinking more beer if I was there.
It was something else.
And so. I mean, I know you as a person that plays in a lot of bands. So at this point, that's not you yet. You're still kind of dedicated.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, and still am kind of like the arranger and the booker and the communicator and, the person who helps kind of admin that band. I took over that role kind of after about 2 years I was in it. I kind of realized I could, kind of multifunction as far as wear a few hats. And I was really good with talking to the booking agents and talking to clubs and whatnot. And that's when actually a lot of this started, opening in my brain too. Like, oh, maybe I could do that on the side too, just down the road, and which obviously I did. But yeah, I wasn't kind of like on call or like a session guy or anything at this point. I wasn't like getting calls from producers and whatnot to go and play on records. I was just with Pleasant Grove, and and that was great. You know, we had a great run from like 2000 to 2004, and we'd released 2 records. We went to, you know, like I said, Europe a couple times. We went to California and recorded a record out there with a label called Bad Men Recording Company, which was fun and slightly debaucherous. But yeah, I mean, during that time, I think that's when I started thinking, you know, it'd be great to play with other people. I left Pleasant Grove for a minute, and I got hired to play. Well, let me back up a little bit. Actually, John Congleton, when he was in town, so the producer John Congleton and Stuart Sykes lived here, and they actually worked at the same studio in Oak Cliff called Elmwood at the time. And it was a very lucky situation to be in because A, I was great friends with them, and B, I'd recorded with them with Pleasant Grove, and at the time I was with the Baptist Generals too. So Baptist Generals had been signed to Sub Pop, and we started, you know, I'd go on tour with them too, or I'd been on tour with them, and so I was kind of a part of that band. But anyway, I'd recorded with John and I'd recorded with Stuart, and the cool thing about that was, again, we were just friends, but they knew I was capable and I could actually play and, you know, not overplay, and they kept calling me to do sessions, and then that just kind of led to, you know, I was super lucky to, you know, get asked to play with Sarah Jaffe. And the moment we played together, it's a really cool moment, actually. We the very first song we ever played together was Black Hoax Lie. It's a really cool song. It was on Brushes. And she and I were playing the song together just to learn it. And when she stopped me after about a minute into the song, she's like, "Hey, you want to do some shows?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to do some shows." And she was just starting out then. I mean, right. we played super small shows for a long time. Yeah, and then that just kind of blossomed, and John just kept calling me for, you know, he said, "Hey, Adam, you know, Granduciel from the War on Drugs is in town. Do you want to come and record?" And I didn't barely even know who they were, and I'm like, "Sure." And I think I actually recorded a number of songs. I think 2 or 3 of them were more like demos. But the one song that stuck was that song "I Was There" that was on the album Slave Ambient.
But they didn't have a regular drummer, or he wasn't available?
He just came in town on his own, just to piecemeal some stuff together.
Interesting.
That's kind of how Adam was at the time. He didn't really have a whole solidified band. I think at the time they were having drummers come in and out all the time. It was like him, maybe Robbie, and maybe 2 other guys that were like the solid members, but they weren't. He didn't have a solid drummer. So I came in and recorded that song, "I Was There."
Is that how you ended up playing in St. Vincent?
So that's how I ended up playing with St. Vincent too, because John called me. I had a full-time, like 9 to 5-er, and Google Chat comes up and it's like, "Hey, you want to come record with Annie at this studio up in Plano?" I was like, and I was working in Plano, and I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And
she was already like happening at that point?
Well, she was, but she'd only had her first record out, which of course I forgot the name of that. But she was recording Actor, her second album for 4AD. And so I went to the studio, and I think I was there, honestly, Andrew, for like maybe 2 hours. And I recorded 2 songs. We set up, got sounds, and I recorded 2 songs. And I had to go or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what the problem was, but or my schedule was tight. And then I couldn't go back, and they wanted me to go back and record more the next day, but just my schedule was busy. Little did I know that was not the best decision. I should have gone back and recorded the rest of the record. I think Mackenzie, my buddy Mackenzie from Midlake, I think he went and recorded, I know he did, 4 or 5 more tracks, and they had somebody else do some tracks too. But I recorded Actor Out of Work, and I recorded Black Rainbow. The 2 songs on that record.
Cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, and she's just awesome, and she was amazing. And we just kind of stayed in touch, and that led to me then needing a drummer. I think Mackenzie couldn't do it, or somebody couldn't do it, and she was booked in Alaska. So I went and played a one-off show with her at Anchorage.
Wild.
Yeah, it was wild, because I had to learn her whole show, and at the time, she had this like kind of Roland SBD pad thing that triggered all the sounds for the record, like everything, like bells, chimes, strings. So it was a lot to learn. And it wasn't like, playing to a track that just plays with you. I had to play it without a click, like live, and learn it and with the band. And we only had 2 rehearsals.
Wow. Yeah. How long is the show? Like an hour?
Yeah, it was like an hour.
Yeah.
I've never, honestly, I will say this on the record. Like, I don't think I've ever been more nervous for a show besides that one.
Yeah.
Just because I had to multitask so much,
I'm getting neurotic just thinking about being in that situation. Wow.
But it was super fun. And,
Yeah.
just being with, she's so cool. And just like, at the end of the night, just like having drinks with the band and her and like what the Northern Lights. I mean, it was like, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, stuff that really happened. We saw a moose, in the road. It was like, typical like Alaska Northern Exposure, experience. It was amazing.
Wow. That was super cool. Who else? Well, you toured with Sarah as well, right?
Sarah and I toured a lot. Mainly the big tour that we did a lot of stuff in and around America, but a lot of it ended up being, her record label, again, with Tammy at Kirtland Records. They would, she'd have a few shows booked in New York, or she'd have a few shows booked with, an artist, and they'd fly us to LA or wherever and do like 3 or 4 dates, and they'd fly us home. I remember one time we just flew to Kentucky for one show and back. It was like that kind of stuff a lot. Yeah. So I remember doing New York a few times with her, California, and then, the Midwest thing. And then we just toured a lot, or, Austin and Denton, Dallas, obviously. But the big one was the European tour that we had done. We opened up for Midlake. Right. And I had no idea, how... I knew Midlake had some major success, in Europe, mainly in Britain. Well, actually all of Europe. But I didn't realize what success was until, like, I got there. Like, the first show... Like, I'm hungover and jet lagged, and it was like 400 people, like in Hamburg, and I'm like, "Oh, I can do this. This is cool. This is easy." We had like a 30-minute set. It was early in the night. Over there in Europe, the shows are early, and so we played like 8, and we're done by 8:30, which led to a lot of drinking, a lot of partying. And then the next night, I think we must have been. I think we were in the Netherlands, and I think it was like 1,600 people. And I'm like, I did not realize. I don't think Midlake at the time could have even sold out the Kessler. Yeah. And they're playing to like a lot of people, and I was just so proud of them. These are my friends, and they didn't boast about it. They didn't really talk about it a lot, but it was a really big tour, and it was a really good opportunity, great opportunity for Sarah. It was amazing. I mean, we ended up at Shepherd's Bush Empire in London. That was the last show we played. And whatever that place holds, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000, I don't know. But I know that it wasn't Johnny Marr. It was another Smith was on the guest list, and like Radiohead members were on the guest list. I mean, this was, wow. Again, it's so cool that Midlake, they never talk about it. They never would talk about these things. But I was just, every night I was like, it can't get any bigger. Like, the shows can't get that much bigger, and it was really awesome. It was a really amazing experience to play. Like, I never thought that, myself from Salina, or McKinney, whatever, like, I'd be playing shows at the Paradiso in Amsterdam, to a sold out crowd,
What was that the tour where you were playing during the bomb threat?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah. So that was in Ireland. That was in Dublin. So strange enough, we had a day off the day before on a Saturday, which was strange. I think Sarah and I did a pub tour most of the day before. And then we were playing at this place called the Vicar Theatre in Dublin. And it was sold out. I think it was like 1,200, 1,400 people. And it was a Sunday night. It was Valentine's night. So I was thinking to myself, even before that, I was thinking like, well, this is kind of like the biggest congregation of people probably in Dublin tonight, probably, which is kind of cool. And whatever, we're doing our set and we're playing the song, ironically, the song Vulnerable, which I was actually, after the fact, was feeling quite vulnerable. And I just saw a guy walking through the crowd with a dog, and I'm like, that's odd. But whatever, you just focus on the show and just do it, And then afterwards, I run upstairs. I think the green room was upstairs, and I went back, and the stage manager was running towards me. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Well, I thought, was it a bad show? maybe we didn't play that well. I don't know. And he goes, "No, we had a bomb scare." And I'm like, and I'm kind of glad I didn't know during the show, because that would have freaked me out.
How would you have continued?
Yeah, that would have freaked me out.
Yeah.
And so that was. I mean, I think I drank all the Guinness that night. After that.
I don't blame you.
And I think none of us knew, which was good. I mean, Sarah and I didn't know either, which was good because we, it was a good show. But man, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like looking at my notes. I'm like, we got a lot more to talk about. We don't have that much time. So Motorcade and Myopic. They're more ambient. It's not. I guess it's still similar to that Cure thing, the evolution of that. In fact, when I saw Motorcade, I thought like this is an '80s band that I just never heard or something.
Right, for sure.
But
I mean, that's what we were. I mean, that's what we are.
Yeah.
We're a new band with forward-thinking, ideas.
when was the band formed?
2000. I don't know. What year is it?
26. I mean, it's not that old. You're saying?
I think it's only. I think we started in. It might be almost 10 years now.
Okay.
So we started after we'd all done all these other things.
Sure.
And just because James and Andrew and John were just like best friends, and we all loved the same music. Depeche Mode, Echo and the Bunnymen, OMD, whatever. Mm-hmm. We're like, let's just do that. Whether we play shows or not, let's just do it. Because I don't think I was even in a regular full band at the time. And then it became, really fun. Mm-hmm. And we played a lot of shows. And we're still playing shows. We're not playing as many shows. Not because of this, but, John is having some... Well, you shot that show that he was having that. Remember that night that we played at the... Kessler.
Yeah.
It was John Buffalo.
Yep. That's
when it was happening. So John's obviously having some physical stuff going on, but he's fine. I just saw him on the way down here. But that's not why we're not playing a lot of shows. We're just all busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many bands are you in right now?
So now, Motorcade, Pleasant Grove will never not be a band. Like we'll never not be together. And then I have my own project, the Myopic thing that I just dabble in, instrumental ambient, electronic music. Black Tie Dynasty. Mm-hmm. I play in. We're not playing a ton. That the Texas All-Star band I was mentioning. Mm-hmm. And just kind of whoever calls, like like whoever calls. I mean, if I'm available, I'll pretty much just do it because I like to play.
I mean, like how easy is it for you to learn a 45-minute set? Like,
it's not hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got the shed that's in the back of my house that all my drums are in, and I just put the headphones on and just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how I've always done it, and I love doing it. Yeah, it's just always been really, really fun. I don't know. I love the challenge of learning new material.
Sure.
Too,
How did you fall into writing for Modern Drummer?
So I'm of the mindset of like you just do it. I don't ever have to like follow an equation or a premeditated path or whatever. I'm just gonna email the guy, the editor, and just say I'd like to write for the magazine, and I did. And he was like, okay, let's try this first. And he knew, like, he was aware of some of the bands that I'd played in,
you think that's why you got the crack?
I think, it always, there was a publicist who told me years ago, she's like, you should always tell whatever release you're working on that you played in these bands, which sounds, it sounds showy, you know, but it's kind of the resume. It usually gets ahead of everybody else first.
But if you think about it, how many people really know that or remember that? I mean, I think it's good advice.
For sure. And I've done it ever
every
since.
Every email I have now says like 3-time Dallas Entertainment Award winner or whatever it is. Like I got, you know, it's like if you did the work, you might as well let people know.
And I totally agree. And it's a rare thing to be able to say, you know, I played with Daniel Johnston. You know, that's not everybody can say that, and I feel super lucky to be able to say that, you know?
Yeah.
Which was an experience in and of itself. Sorry, what was the question?
It was about Modern Drummer.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. So I remember.
I mean, I was like, wait a minute, Daniel Johnston's story maybe? And
yeah, I can tell you about that in a second. But, you know, the quick thing about Modern Drummer, I just wanted... I've always enjoyed writing, and I've never really been able to, you know, do it a lot. And so I just emailed this guy, Adam Budofsky, who became a really good friend of mine. He's the editor. He was the editor. He's not anymore. And I think the first one I did was Josh Block of Leon Bridges.
Okay.
And so the coolest thing about that is that I show up at where Tulips is kind of now, and I forgot what it was then. It was before Tulips. And it was a day rehearsal, and they were just practicing, and Leon isn't even there. And the whole band played the whole set, and I watched like 3 or 4 songs at the end of the set. And it's like, this is when you know it's like super pro. Like he wasn't even there. And they were like on a dime, perfect, everything.
Sure.
Backup singers, no Leon. And I'm like, wow, this band's amazing. Yeah, so I think Josh Block was my first article. And the coolest part of that experience was interviewing Lowell Tolhurst from The Cure and and Budgie from Siouxsie the Banshees.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, actually, it was a Midlake reference. I think I wanted to do I saw that they were going to do a record together, and then I reached out to Eric of Midlake, and because I knew Eric knew Budgie, and I said I just got to get in touch with him. Just even if he says no, I don't care. You know, I just kind of want to just give it a shot.
Sure.
And they said, yeah. And Budgie emailed me back, which was, I still have the email going, hello, you know, hope this works out. It'd be great to talk to you. And I'm like, that's wild. And that was probably the second most nervous I've ever been, was doing a Zoom with Lowell Tolhurst and Budgie about drums. Super amazing guys.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Well, also, my personal experience is sometimes it's easier to get the other players, not the singer or the main person.
Right.
Because they're not getting as much attention and they're happy to do it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool that they did.
And, you know, like Lowell said on the interview, which I'll never forget, he says, all drummers are friends, you know, and we just ended up just chatting.
Nice.
You know, it was, I have it still on my YouTube, like, not YouTube, my Zoom channel account. And I'm just like, I go back and like watch part of it sometimes. I'm like, that was really wild. Like if the younger me would know that this was going to happen, that I was talking to Lowell and Budgie, he'd freak out.
Yeah.
I'd still freak out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, are you still doing that? Are you still writing for them?
You know, the last article, just very irregularly, you know, I'll be honest, they don't care. The money's not great. And so I haven't had a ton of time. I think the last one I did was maybe 1.5 years ago. It was Dave Aberzees from Pearl Jam.
Right.
He was in Pearl Jam. Yeah. He was super cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's go back to, let me ask you about this, because I get a call and I was super excited to get the call to shoot photos for the Willie Nelson redheaded stepchild, right?
Redheaded stranger.
God, yeah. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. But anyway, it was just fun because it was Maureen was the one that called me, Womack, and I went there for rehearsal, and I'm just like, oh, I know like everybody here almost, right. Like almost every, like Billy and Matt and John, and,
Josh.
you know, I mean, yeah, and I mean, of course, Rhett. I mean, I hadn't obviously. I got to meet, Matt Stalling and Max Stalling and his wife, and
Heather.
Yeah,
Super cool.
yeah. Just it was surreal to even be able to, and I mean, I'm just like, okay, I'm doing this long enough. It's rehearsal. I'm going to get on stage, and like, not one person batted an eye.
No.
And it just was like, it was for me. It was like, because I mean, like, I'd already had Rhett on the show. Is All Night Summers are like one of my favorite bands of all time. And so just interacting at all with that. But anyway, how did that come about? I didn't even know you did stuff like that.
So during my state fair stint, or stints now, one of the first events, and I'll try and cliff note this, but I think we're running short on time. But so during COVID, I did a gig at Four Corners Brewery. And it was my first. I'd only been with the label like as an employee for like 3 or 4 months, and I got an idea to get let's get people out. My friend Reed Robinson, he does the
sax player.
No. Oh. He has the NA non-alcoholic place up in Richardson.
Oh right, I just met Reed.
He's super nice.
I was there. Yeah, cool.
Great guy.
Beyond
anyway,
the bar.
He was doing a thing called Carburet at the time during COVID, where you drive up like a drive-in movie experience. So I thought, let's combine that and make a kind of a communal experience with music and food and beer and what we're not getting to do because of COVID.
Sure.
And that was the first thing, and I got really excited about it. And it was a success. KXT got behind it, and it was really super fun. It was a really great night. And then I guess maybe Eric Nadell knew about that. I don't know. But Eric and I curated a couple shows together at Cafe Momentum when he used to run that place.
Okay.
So Eric and I are friends. And he called me one day and was like, hey, I think I might have a new gig for you. If you're interested, it's going to be a long thing. It's going to be maybe 8 to 10 months of planning. But yeah, so Amy Rosenthal, who I already knew from Texas Music Revolutions up in McKinney, when she was the cultural arts director in McKinney, I knew her from there because we'd put on shows there. And then, so Eric partnered me with her. And so she and I worked together on the Red-Headed Stranger.
Yeah, she's in Garland now. That's where that took place, yeah.
Right. And so I mean, she was in charge. I was, she's the director, and I was the creative director as far as she and I had a shared vision. It was very similar, and we just kind of let our minds kind of explode and not let it be siloed as just the Granville Arts Center. Let's just make it about the city of Garland.
Right.
And so that's when we brought in all the local players to play around town on the square and showed people, because John has the keys to the studio, so I could show people, give people tours at the studio.
I mean, let's back up for the people that don't know what the heck we're talking about.
Right, yes.
That album was recorded in Garland, Willie Nelson, in 78?
75.
75, yeah.
So 50 years.
Yeah.
At Dallas Audio. Was Dallas Audio? I think that's right.
Yeah,
Gosh, I forgot
think
the
that's
name.
right.
And so we wanted to recreate the record on stage, obviously not with Willie, but with everybody else.
And the Willie bus.
Yeah, and the Willie bus was on the square, which blew my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ray Benson and Rhett and Josh, and they recreated the album from start to finish. And I've always loved that concept of recreating records. I love it when bands do that. The Cure will come back and play Disintegration from start to finish, or whatever.
Right.
It's I find that interesting because there's a different take on it, and a different take on it especially because it wasn't even Willie. It was everybody else doing these songs with a backup band, and the backup band was just stellar. It was all these just top players, Matt Hillier and some of the guys that played with Josh Walker, and just incredible. I think they had 2 rehearsals. Really? And they didn't even have a rehearsal with the frontmen until the day of the show.
Oh, wow.
Well, Max and Heather did one with them.
Okay.
But that was it. So they're just all so good. And Amy and I were freaking out. What if it doesn't work out?
Right.
And it did.
It
was a
really
magical
did.
night. It was a sold out night. I think it was 770, I think, were there.
Yeah.
And then the whole crowd lit up with local players and the bus and the
it was a
tour.
great event, and it sounded amazing. And yeah, you should be proud.
Thank you. I am.
I haven't talked to Amy yet, but by the time people watch us, she's already been on the show.
Right.
But yeah, it's a great event. And so I guess you said you like book shows. Like, do you book like just regular shows or just those big extraordinary type things?
I mean, I book the shows for like all the bands that I play in. So like I'm that guy. When people need to book shows for Motorcade or Pleasant Grove or whatever, they hit me up because no offense to anybody else in the bands, but they know that I'll return the call, the email, or the phone call.
It's funny too because it's like you flipped the stereotype of the drummer on its head as being the most responsible guy in the band and planning the shows. And
well, I think drummers in a way, there's so many drummers that are producers, and I think they can wear a lot of different hats.
It makes sense, you know, and I guess if I go further into the stereotypes, it's the singers and the bass players and guitar players that don't have their heads screwed on straight. The drummer's the one keeping it all together.
Keeping it all together, man.
Right.
And we literally have to split ourselves into 4 different appendages doing something separately yet together musically.
Yeah. You
know, so.
We're getting really close. So we talked about State Fair. Mm-hmm. Let's end it with like, how do you feel about this music scene? Like where we're at, like where it's been from the time you started to now and where it's going?
Well, I think that's going great now. I think it's, I think it happens in a lot of different, it's not centralized like it used to be, obviously. And we all know that, I think it's cool that, we can still play shows down here and that shows still happen down here. And it's great. I love going and playing shows at the Kessler. I love going and playing shows in Denton. And I think it's I love Tulips in Fort Worth, and I think the scene is definitely, it has a vitality about it, still. And it's not just, the old codgers like me talking about how great it used to be. I think it's still great.
Yeah.
I think it's, there's a lot of, things like this helps, shine a light on it. I know there's a lot of, movers and shakers in the city that help, propel this thing forward, like, what's happening at the Longhorn Ballroom when they put the amphitheater out back, to bring, the big bands in and have other local bands open up for them. Let's think it's all this propelling motion of moving forward and shining a light on not just how great we were, with Last Rites or Funland or, the old 97s then, or how great it is now, and what have those bands done then and what are we doing now? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I that's why I moved here, was because of the scene. And when people are like, oh, it's dead, it's like, you're not going out.
You're not going out, and you have to go out. And I'll be honest, I don't go out as much as I should. I go out mainly when I'm playing shows. Yeah. But I love it, if I do go and see bands and I'm like, wow, man, this is great. There's 150 people out here on a Wednesday night. Yeah. This is fantastic. Yep. I love it. And I love seeing a lot of the younger bands coming up playing. It's just great, man. I love being a part of it. While I'm still in Dallas, I'll always be proud of what Deep Ellum is and what, the musicians here and what we've done, you know?
Yep. Awesome. Is there anything else I didn't ask you about that you're working on?
Well, there's something coming up that's really interesting. That's not, I don't even think I listed it. I don't even think I talked about it. But it is something that's going to happen in June, July. And we did a show at the Granada. So it's Lindsey Graham with this podcast. Did I tell you about this?
No.
So he has a History Daily podcast.
Wait, Lindsey Graham
Not the senator.
Okay.
Okay, no. So it's Lindsey Graham. he has a podcast called History Daily, an American Scandal. It's very popular.
Okay.
Like extremely popular. And he's asked me and James Henderson from Motorcade and now Tony from Pleasant Grove is also with a backing band. And I didn't think two things about it, and I'll keep this brief, but I got excited about it and something that's happening since. I'll go ahead and just talk about it. We played a show actually on my birthday at the Granada, and we're the backing band, and Lindsey is a podcaster, and he's sitting on stage as a podcaster. The show is sold out. Yeah. Sitting down, of course. So what? I don't know, 400 some people. But people drove in from all over the place for this show. And so we were playing the live soundtrack to his script, to his podcast.
Wow. Is he from here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think, yeah, he grew up here. And he has a studio over in Junius Heights area. Look, I'll send you the podcast, but the whole point of me saying that is the next thing that's happening for me, it's exciting, is that we're going on the road. We're doing it in New York and DC and Philadelphia.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's at like city winery type venues up there.
That's cool.
Yeah, like it's really like a popular podcast, and I had no idea. Like, I guess you didn't either, But it's like,
no, I didn't.
Apparently, there's millions of downloads per month on this podcast. I know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Okay. Well, that's
cool.
Next. Yeah,
yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jeff, thanks a lot
for
telling me that I should have you on in the first place. We were backstage.
Did I tell you that?
Well, we were backstage with Black Tie, and I was well, I guess I am going to tell this story, but I was like, we have enough white guys. You're like, I'm not white. Like, oh, well, in that case,
you gotta have me on. Again, no premeditated path. Just do it.
Yeah, no, but it's cool. Like I was thinking the other day, I haven't had a drummer on in a while, but you're so much more than that, and you're adding to this community in different ways, and it's cool. You belong down here. I'm glad you could make it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank Jeff Bryan for joining us today. You can check out all his stuff that he's got going on in the show notes. Thank you to the Deep Ellum Community Center for letting us record here. Theme song Unstoppable by Celine Narala, and the outro is The Place to Be by Electric Ants. Thanks again to the Mullen the Mullen Music Project for their support. Like, subscribe, and share the podcast, and we'll see you next week.